Hello friends, this is Durga again from ITversity, a one-stop shop to learn all the technologies. At this time we are talking about HDP Certified Developer course, and in this video I will try to merge multiple tasks in the curriculum under data analysis. So far we have covered till ORC files. In this one we will talk about specifying the storage format of a Hive table, specifying the delimiters of a Hive table. So as we have seen earlier, if you go through the syntax, this one, so you need to understand two things related to specifying the storage format of a Hive table. The first one is the out-of-the-box supported file formats. So you have already seen that you can specify the file format using stored as, and if you scroll down, there are these 6 different formats which are supported from 14. Before 14, in the first version, only sequence file and text file are supported, and then RC file is added on 0.6, ORC is added on 11, and Parquet is in 13, and Avro is in 14. So these 6 formats can be easily implemented using stored as and the relevant file format. But if you want to use custom format, in some cases they might ask you to use custom input format and output format, and typically your input format and output format will be used in conjunction with row format SURD. So for text file we typically use row format, delimited, fields terminated by, lines terminated by, etc. But when it comes to custom formats, when we specify input format and output format, we use row format SURD, and we actually give the SURD class name, and also we can specify the SURD properties also. So if you go here and click on this link, which is beside specifying the storage format of a Hive table, you can see how it look like. So this I have explained already: stored as text file, sequence file, ORC, etc. If you want to use custom file formats, for example regex, you can say row format SURD and you can define regex, and then you can actually set custom input formats and output formats also. Okay, typically when you run stored as text file, sequence file, or Parquet or Avro, whichever is supported as out of the box file formats, the SURD input format and output format will be created automatically. So I will demonstrate you. So in this case I am trying to connect to the sandbox. I am already in the sandbox. Okay, I am launching Hive. And you can say use retail underscore ODS. At this time I am trying to demonstrate under this one, and run show tables. We have different tables here. We have ORC. I have the Parquet also, which I have created myself using simple create table command and then stored as Parquet. If you want to see how the SURD input format and output format will be resolved to these tables, even though you specify stored as text file, sequence file, etc., you can actually run this command: show create table orders ORC, and hit enter. You can see the syntax here. So here row format is custom format, in which I am actually terminating the fields by colon, and then input format and output format are related to ORC. Okay, if you don't specify the delimiter, it will use its own internal SURD to delimit the columns. Okay, now I will show create table on testing underscore Parquet. Here I didn't specify the custom delimiter, and you can see that SURD is Parquet Hive SURD, and input format is mapped Parquet input format, and output format is mapped Parquet output format. So typically when they want you to use these custom classes, they will provide those details: what is the survey, what is the input format, and what is the output format. And ideally they will give the fully qualified class name with the package. So it is easy as long as you remember the survey is defined as row format survey, and then stored as input format and output format. If you are not familiar, if you don't remember the syntax, just run this command on any table that exists. You will see the syntax. Just pick up these things and create a table. That's it, and the table will be created. For example, in this case, I will be creating another table, t I int, okay, and then I'm pasting these 6 lines, and the table is created using Parquet format, or I can also say stored as Parquet in this case. But for custom, you have to give these 3 things with the appropriate classes. If they don't give the custom, don't worry about these things. Just use stored as Parquet or ORC or whatever it is. If you try to use this syntax, sometimes they might mark it as incorrect because it is not in line with their answer. So be extremely careful. Do whatever they have asked in the question. And then the next topic I will be covering in the same video is specifying the delimiter of a Hive table. We have already seen about how to specify the delimiter. You just have to say row format delimited, fields terminated by whatever terminator you want to use for the columns. On top of that, if you go to the syntax, there are other delimiters also, other delimiters at other level also. So this is another exercise which is provided by Hortonworks itself. You can go through it and you can understand several things of it. But more than this, go back to our create table statement and go to the row format clause, and it will give the syntax about the delimiters. So fields can be delimited by fields terminated by, after delimited, after row format. So the syntax is row format, row space format space delimited, and then fields terminated by for fields. If there are collections and if you want to delimit it by collections, you can say collection items terminated by. If you have map keys and if you want to terminate by custom key, you can say map keys terminated by. And you can also set lines terminated by if you want to use other character than new line character. And also you can say null, how the nulls are defined. Everything can be defined as part of the row format. Very straightforward, but as part of the certification, the most important ones could be fields. The most important one is fields. Other ones which you might have to understand is lines and the nulls. Okay, these 3 things you have to be familiar with. So here I am trying to demonstrate it. Create table t I int, and to specify the delimiters, you can say row format delimited, fields terminated by, in this case I have only 1 column, so it doesn't matter. Otherwise, let me try with 2 columns. Okay, I int, j int, and then fields terminated by. You can give any character. You can also give ASCII characters also like this. This I think represents the null character or something. I do not remember, but we will validate what it will actually represent. And then you can say lines terminated by. What should be the lines terminated by? By default, it's a new line character. In this case, I want to terminate it with colon. And then nulls. What is the syntax? Null defined as. Null defined as. In this case, for the numeric values, I want to define it as -1. Okay, and hit enter. Create table, row format delimited, fields terminated by. Okay, lines terminated by, and then null defined as, but it is failing. Okay, so I have to give it in the single quote. So lines terminated by only supports new line right now. So okay, so as of now lines can be terminated by only with new line character, so we cannot actually change it to colon. So lines terminated by is also not very important. Row format, let us try the null defined. Okay, and now let us insert some values. Insert into table T null and 1 and hit enter. I have to say values here, that's why it failed. Now it is running. It will take a while and then we will validate. So now it is inserted. We can run the query select star from T, and also you can see that first column is null. Describe formatted, what is the table name, T, and then we can do ls first, dfs minus ls to see what files we have, and then we will do dfs minus cat 456. So I gave the file name and hit enter. You can see that the first one is -1 and the second one is 1. There is no delimiter in between because we are using null character as the delimiter. Okay, so this /u0001 represents the ASCII null character, and then the second value is 1 because we have inserted null and 1. Okay, because we have used null defined as -1 in our create table command. You can see it here also, serialization null format. For I, the value is stored as -1, and then it is showing it as null for us when we are actually querying the data. So there is nothing like null character in Hive. It has to be represented by something or the other. Okay, by default I think let us check the defaults also. Drop table T, create table T I int j int. Here I am not specifying any delimiters, I just created the table, and now let us run the insert command and we will review the results, how the null is stored for I, and then we will move on to the next topic. So it is done, and you can run select star from T and you will still see null and 1 in the results. And now if you do dfs minus cat, it says /N and 1. So by default Hive null character is /N. Okay, but we can override it using nulls defined as part of the row format delimited. As of now, for lines terminated by, you can only use the new line character. Other characters is not supported yet. Okay, so that being said, I hope you are enjoying the content on the channel. As part of this video, we have covered both specifying the storage format of a Hive table and also specifying the delimiter of a Hive table. That being said, if you like this video, please click on the like button. If you want to provide the feedback, please use the comment section of the video. If you have any technical questions, please raise the questions in Stack Overflow with appropriate tags. If you want to discuss further about Hadoop or big data or certifications, please join my LinkedIn group called ITversity-Big Data or ITversity-Certifications. And finally, if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You will get to see a lot more content like this over time. Thank you.